So here's how it works quickly. Many of you could say this as well as we are about to, and therefore we're going to say it fast. You were non-physical energy before you came into this physical body. You were pure, positive, non-physical energy, non-resistant energy. You were consciousness, and you had a very explicit reason for wanting a part of that consciousness to be born into this physical body. So here you are, splat, in this physical body. And now here you are exploring all of the variety around you, the contrast of what you are living, knowing what you don't want, and therefore knowing what you do want. And with all of that deciphering, even before you were able to speak, all of that deciphering, even while you are able to speak but may not be speaking about it, all of that witnessing of life, you are offering continual rockets of desire as you importantly come to your specific and personal conclusions about what you would prefer from where you stand. That matters so much. So you launch these rockets of desire, many of them unconsciously, not even realizing that you are launching them. Unconsciously meaning not speaking it out loud yet, knowing that when someone's rude you'd like them to be nicer, and knowing that when you don't feel good you'd like to feel better, and knowing when you don't have enough of something that you'd like more of it, and knowing when you've got too much of something that you don't want that you would like less of it. In other words, you are knowing, you are sifting through, and you are launching these rockets of desire, and therefore usually unbeknownst to you, you have created a vibrational version of the better world that you wish to live in. The better world that you personally wish to live in, where people are nicer to you and you are nicer to them, where you are feeling free and so are they, where you are in your differences co-creating with one another for the benefit of the whole, where you are evolving as a species and as an individual. So there is a vibrational version of you that we wanted to bring to your conscious awareness, and so we began focusing on it, pointing at it. You say, oh, there's that invisible circle that Abraham draws on the floor all the time. But we're wanting you to realize that there is a vibrational version. We've even given it a name. We called it at first your vibrational reality, because it is a reality whether you are consciously aware of it or not. And then we began calling it the vortex. It's this place, a vortex, because law of attraction is causing this synergistic gathering of all cooperative components. And so even though you've given birth to all of these components of a nicer world, of a better world for you, of more abundance, of a better feeling body, of relationships that are pleasing to you, all of these things that you've been synthesizing from life and knowing that you want and launching these rockets, this is a vibrational reality that inner being part of you that we were talking about a moment ago stands as the full being of. That you has become. And even though you can't see it necessarily, you do have the ability to feel it, to sense it, to know it through your emotions. In other words, you can feel when you're in sync with that. You can feel when you feel invincible. You can feel when you feel sure-footed. You can feel when you feel divinely inspired. You can feel when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you can feel when you're not. And this alignment, this allowing, this being, the vibrational being that you were born to be and that you have already created, this state of being is what we are today calling the receptive mode. In other words, it's your recognition, your conscious tuning to the frequency of that state of being. Now, what comes next? Jerry, Esther's beloved, who made his transition a while ago. Jerry was always talking to Esther about how do thoughts turn to things? How does it happen? How does this world exist? How do these physical things be? Where did they come from? How do they be? He and Esther read the Seth books for a long while before they began having this Abraham experience. And Seth said, you create your own reality. And Jerry said, I accept it, but how? Seth said, your point of power is in the present. And Jerry said, I sort of kind of get that, but what do you mean by that? And then we've spent all of these nearly 30 years since that explaining how it is that you create your own reality. How do these thoughts turn to things? How does the vibration that you have launched just through the living of life, how does it become a vibrational realization? How does the idea turn into a car in your garage? How does the desire of your heart turn into a relationship that is so fulfilling and satisfying? How do you get these things you want? Get them in the fully manifested way. And as humans, you've struggled with this for a while, especially those like you who label yourselves as more of the spiritual bent. In other words, you war with one another over the materialistic world versus the spiritual world. And we want to say to you, there is no more spiritual world than this fully manifested world in which you are living. Because this manifestation is the promise of what you call spirit. This manifestation is the leading edge of the thought that you were born thinking, you see. And so we want to help you be deliberate in your creation. So this message has evolved over time with your help, with the help of your asking. And today it's going to evolve further, and tomorrow further still, because you are a group of those who are really on the leading edge. You are a group who are asking new questions from your now understanding of who you are. We want to say to you that you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and now that you're in this physical body, you're sifting and sorting, you're launching new rockets, and you've created a vibrational reality. Pretty fast, huh? You have created a vibrational reality that really is everything that you want so far. But there is a vibrational reality that you have not. If you are like most normal humans, there's a vibrational reality that you have not allowed yourself yet to witness, to realize. But you could, with just a little vibrational tweaking. You could, if you understood that this is a vibrational universe, and that you are a vibrational offerer, and that your emotions tell you what you're offering vibrationally. So in these days that are today and tomorrow, as we are chewing together with you, it is our desire that you come into full knowing of how you can bring from this vibrational reality that we are calling a vortex into your full experience all of these manifestations that you desire. We want each and every one of them to be experienced fully by you. But even more important, we want you to have fun in the conscious, deliberate turning of those thoughts to things. We want you to take pleasure in achieving a vibrational integrity with what you want. We want you to become a master at maintaining that vibrational harmony with who you are and what you want. We want you to maintain, and it is a mastery that's required from practice that we will do together, a vibrational harmony with what's in your vortex or in your vibrational reality that then will allow law of attraction to move you through time and space in an exciting and fulfilling, adventurous journey where you will know for sure the importance of you, where you'll feel for sure the blessedness that is you. And most of all, from our perspective, you will feel the togetherness of us with you in the unfolding of all of that. We want you to realize that you are not alone. We have been haunting you and you don't even know it. You are not alone. We are with you in your thoughts and ideas and desires. And it is our knowing that all things that you have consciously realized that you desire are very close to becoming fulfilled in that full manifestational way. And we want to show you how. In the early days, we said to you that if you have a desire that you believe, then it's done. If you want it and believe it, then it's coming into place. You're witnessing the unfolding of it right before your eyes. And so that's really what we want to talk most about as we are playing with you in these hours together. We want you to realize that there is an absolute process of your thoughts or desires turning into experiences. We want you to feel what it feels like to have launched lots of pieces of it, sort of like putting the ingredients of a cake into a pot. So as you put each of those ingredients in, it was not that satisfying. Flour is not thrilling. As you dump that stuff in a little bit at a time, still, it's just a sort of gooey mess. But with the right understanding and with the right ingredients and with the right temperature, you can turn that stuff into something that is truly pleasing. And while this analogy is scanty, we want you to get the sense that you have been putting all kinds of ingredients in your vortex pot, and it's time for you to cook it up into something that is really pleasing for you. And that's really what we're going to be talking about. want to help you mold your vortex. Better said, mold yourself into compliance with your vortex so that you can realize all of the things that you have already created. So step one of the creative process is ask, and you can't stop doing that all day, every day. Life just causes that to happen. So you've been putting things in your vortex without even knowing you're doing it, just by being alive in this body, moving through life, moving through space and time with others around you. Step two is, since you've created this vortex, and since source, your inner being, is standing right in the middle of it, everything that you've asked for, your inner being has already vibrationally become. All of the things that you've been asking for, a part of you stands as the culmination of already. Not too satisfying for you, however, because it's a vibrational reality that you have to tune into. Just like tuning your radio tuner to the frequency of what's being broadcast. If you don't have your tuner set to the station that you want to hear, then you're not going to hear it. It is not different from that. In fact, it's exactly the same as that. It's vibrational. And so here's this broadcast of you, all of the abundance, all of the well-being, all of the clarity, all of the deliberateness being broadcast to you all day, every day. But you have to do step three, which is adjust your tuner to that frequency. And over time, we've called that being in the state of allowing yourself to receive. We've called it being in the receiving mode, which means tuned to the frequency so that you can hear. And today what we're wanting to say to you is that step three, what it really is being in a vibrational frequency where what your inner being knows, you know too. The state of allowing. The state of allowing yourself to be. Jerry always wanted to put all of our books in the bookstores with a label that said self-help from your total self. So it's that total self that we want you to be aware of, that whole of you, that inner being you. But we don't want it to be the inner being only. We want it to be the inner being that you let out, the inner being that you let out into your world, the inner being that comes out of your mouth, the inner being that is your wisdom. In other words, it's a blending of who you really are. And we want to say to you finally, and then we'll open it for whatever you want to talk about, that the only thing that ever causes you at any time to ever not feel good about anything, the only time that you ever feel fear or depression or anger or even frustration or disappointment, the only time that you ever feel that, the only reason that you ever feel that is because you are not in that receiving mode, and you are therefore not allowing yourself to receive the fullness of what you've asked for. And you know, if your life hadn't caused you to ask for it, then you're not letting yourself receive it. Wouldn't bother you. But that's not the case. Your life did cause you to ask for it, and now you've got no choice if you want to feel good other than to let it in. It's time for you to get in the receiving mode. It's time for you to live the purpose of what you came to live. It's time for you to be who you really are. It's time for you to get tuned in, tapped in, turned on. It's time for you to begin receiving the flow, the stream of conscious awareness about you into your world. It's time for that. Don't you think it's time for that? Don't you think it's time for that? Don't you think it's time? Not only is it time, but it's time for it to be a consistent thing. Step 3 feels wonderful, but you know what step 4 is? Step 4 is mastering that. Step 4 is caring about how you feel. Step 4 is recognizing the importance of how you feel and knowing how you feel, what how you feel means. Knowing that when you feel elation, that you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And knowing that when you feel anger, that you're not. And the mastery of that includes understanding that the thing that you're looking at, the thing that you are having a knee-jerk response to, is not the problem. The problem is that you're looking at that thing that's making you feel like that. And you say, Abraham, it's my kid. Do you really want me to turn the other cheek? Yes. Not only does your kid want that, we want that for all of you. Why look at what makes you feel a way that your inner being does not feel? And you say, oh, Abraham, we have to face reality, and you should too. and we say, you are not a facer of reality, you are a creator of reality. But when you face reality, you create a reality just like the reality that you're facing. If you'd like the reality that you're facing to be different, then you've got to stop looking at the reality that you're looking at. Because when you look at the reality that you're looking at, you're offering a vibration, and law of attraction is responding to the vibration, and you're creating more of the reality that you don't like, that you don't want to create. So every time you feel negative emotion, that's what that means. You're looking at and therefore continuing a reality that you don't want to look at or continue. So stop it. We are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. It is our desire to help you find the receiving mode for what you are wanting. It is our desire that today it becomes very clear to you how you could be talking about a subject and believing that you are affirming what you do want, when in reality you are affirming the absence of what you really want. We want to show you how subtle it is, how a subject is really two subjects. We want to show you how to find the frequency of the subject that matters to you and how to hone yourself into that frequency. And then, most important, we want you to experience the full conscious awareness of watching the entire universe cooperate with your desire. Once you, these are the operative words, once you, this is the thing that we want you to hear more than anything ever in your entire life. Drum roll, please. Once you become a vibrational match to your own reality. In other words, you've got to become a vibrational match to your own reality. You just do. What do you want to talk about? This is who you are, isn't it? It's going to be a very good day. All right, we've got you. A lot of trouble in this room.